The story of Big Boss is one of downfall. Born in 1935 and joining the US military as a teenager, he became the apprentice to a legendary soldier known as the Boss. The young soldier, known as John at the time, mastered combat and espionage techniques under the Boss's training until 1959, when both were duty-bound to go their separate ways. At some point between 1962 and 1964, John was asked to join Fox, a secret CIA unit specifically designed to handle top-secret infiltration missions. His new code name was Naked Snake. But his first major assignment, known as the Virtuous Mission, was a failure. Tasked with retrieving a Soviet scientist called Nikolai Sokolov from Russia, Naked Snake's mission was thwarted by his old mentor, the Boss, who appeared to have defected to the USSR. Snake was nearly killed, the Boss captured Sokolov, and a nuclear missile had been detonated, turning this covert operation into headline news. Placed in intensive care, Naked Snake was interrogated by the US military and given an ultimatum. He would be pardoned, but only if he returns to Russia, eliminates the Boss, and recovers Sokolov. The mission quickly went awry. Sokolov was killed, Snake was tortured with one of his eyes shot out, and an experimental mobile nuclear missile launcher, known as the Shagohod, was captured by the Boss's Cobra unit. To Snake's surprise, the Boss helps him escape from the torture chamber. He returns to destroy the Shagohod, leaving with him one final mission: to eliminate the Boss. This is the first major turning point for Snake. He manages to kill the Boss against his wishes and only for duty to his country. In his final moments with his mentor, he discovers that the Virtuous Mission was a ruse and that the Boss's supposed defection was part of a bigger plan concocted by a secret organization within the White House known as the Philosophers. He is given the Distinguished Service Cross and the new codename Big Boss, but he becomes a loner, blaming himself for putting his country before anything else, and retires from Fox. 5 years later, he joins a secret multinational organization known as the Patriots. This was a reformed version of the Philosophers, but under new leadership. They are effectively an Illuminati group. But the Patriots betray Big Boss, extracting his genes to create genetically enhanced soldiers. His DNA is also used to create 3 sons, codenamed Liquid Snake, Solidus Snake, and Solid Snake. Big Boss leaves the Patriots and creates his own private mercenary group, known as Militaire Sans Frontières, using his legendary reputation to amass an army unaligned to any country. Then, in 1974, Big Boss's mercenary army entered Costa Rica to destroy what appeared to be the next evolution of the Shagohod design, known as a Metal Gear. He also expands his own army, which is now located on an offshore plant called Mother Base, and meets 2 characters for the first time, Chico and Paz. 1 year later, Big Boss discovers that both Chico and Paz have been captured and taken to Camp Omega, a maximum security military prison located on the southern tip of Cuba. Big Boss successfully retrieves the 2, but when returning to Mother Base, he finds that the base is under attack by a mysterious military unit known as Zoth. The majority of his army is killed, and Mother Base is destroyed. Escaping in a helicopter, Big Boss discovers that Paz is carrying a bomb inside her, which detonates and downs the aircraft, seemingly killing everyone inside, including Big Boss. After the events of the Phantom Pain, Big Boss's downfall is complete. He creates a military fortress in South Africa, which he calls Outer Heaven. In 1995, he takes a Russian scientist prisoner and forces him to build a new Metal Gear. Doing so would give Big Boss global military influence. But then, one of his 3 genetically engineered sons, Solid Snake, manages to infiltrate Outer Heaven, destroys Metal Gear, and blows up the base. Big Boss only just survives and continues with his plan. 2 years later, in 1997, he takes control of Zanzibar, a small country in East Africa, where he attempts to build another Metal Gear. But the plan is once again stopped by Solid Snake, who this time confronts Big Boss in an underground base. burns him alive, and leaves him for dead. Big Boss's story after this becomes more tragic. His body is found by the Patriots, kept alive but induced into a coma, and once again, his DNA is researched and used to manufacture next-generation military units. In Metal Gear Solid 4, which is chronologically the final game in the series, Big Boss is awakened from his coma. His legend ends at the gravestone of his former mentor, the Boss, where he meets Solid Snake for the final time and shares one peaceful cigarette with his son before passing away.